week number 11 of the high school football season, and tonight, the Cardinals of Canfield made the long trek up from Mahoning Valley to Geauga County to take on your Chardon Hilltoppers in the Division III Region 9 Regional Finals, otherwise known as the State Quarterfinals or the Elite Eight in the Ohio High School Athletic Association High School Football Playoffs. How you doing, everyone? Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. And Ryan, tonight's game pits two teams that have similar styles of play against one another. It's going to be a big physical matchup tonight.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun game. A lot to see. That Chardon rushing attack versus Canfield. Dual threat at quarterback, 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard passer. Should be a lot of fun tonight in the regional finals.
Hilltoppers right now 0-3 all-time against Canfield. So what does that tell you? They are due for a victory. And tonight could not be a better time for that to happen. When you look at this game, the Hilltoppers are at home. It's going to bring them some advantages with the home field play.
Absolutely. That's going to be a big push. We've seen even though it's a smaller crowd, the crowd has been loud and into these games for the Hilltoppers so far throughout this playoff run. I'd expect the same for them again tonight.
The Cardinals have played a very tough schedule, but they have not seen a team as physical as Chardon will be tonight. So stick around because we've got great football coming your way here on GTV. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Junction Auto family and by the Chardon Smile Center. Also by Precision Orthopedic Specialties. We also thank Hazen Contracting, Inc., asphalt paving and seal coating, and Conic Law. This game is also sponsored by the Preston Superstore and Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service. We also thank Always Construction and Zarzer Motors.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing the 2020 Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. The Hilltopper Marching Band is being led onto the field tonight by senior drum majors Anna Gerstner and Will Squires. A special shout out to all our band members and band parents for their flexibility and dedication in preparing the band for this new normal. It has not been easy, but the band staff is very proud of this group in front of you. All right, Topper fans, put your hands together for the Chardon High School Fight Song. Ladies and gentlemen, would you now please stand? If you are able, gentlemen, remove your hats as we honor our great country with the Star-Spangled Banner and remain standing for the Chardon High School alma mater. All right, Hilltoppers, put your hands together for the Hey Song.
Hilltopper football is brought to you by the Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club and by Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company and Sherwin-Williams. We thank Achilles Running Shop and Roniak Paving. Also, McRae Metal Products and OsteoStrong. Additional support tonight courtesy of Brock Construction Company and Impact Church. We also thank Shoreside Plumbing and Alvorns. Here come your 2020 Western Reserve Conference champion, Chardon Hilltoppers. How you doing, everyone? Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. Ryan, this is the big one. Winner of this one advances to the state Final Four. And for Chardon, if they could do it, would be the first time since 2003.
Yeah, definitely exciting night tonight. You could feel all the energy in the stadium. You know, the fans from down in Canfield, they traveled well. Loud contingent here from Chardon tonight. Everyone's ready to go. You feel that playoff energy tonight here, Matt.
The Hilltoppers have been waiting not quite a year for this game. Of course, last year, down at Stewart Field in Solon, the Hilltoppers faced Aurora in the regional finals, dominated the first half, and unfortunately faltered in the second half as that game just got away from them. They had a valiant effort late, but just could not get the score that they needed to pull it off. And Aurora ultimately prevailed, going to the Final Four and I believe tripping up the next week. But the Hilltoppers, they have talked about it all year long. Finishing business. And this team has been very businesslike. They've enjoyed the wins, but not nearly as much as Hilltopper teams of the past because they know that they want more. They sense it. And In talking with these players, they're now starting to actually say the words, they want a state championship. They believe it, they can taste it, they want it, and they know that it runs through this Canfield Cardinal team.
Absolutely, and they'll get to work tonight, and the crowd is getting into it already here for the opening kickoff. Everyone's ready. Let's play some football.
Ryan, I don't know if it's been this loud here this year. These fans doing what they can. Hilltoppers will be receiving the ball to start the game. Canfield won the toss and elected to defer. So Jonathan Schmidt has the ball on the tee. He's a pretty good kicker. Been able to do a lot of directional kicking on kickoffs this year to limit kick returners. Officials say go. And this game is underway. Bit of a short kick. Toppers fielded at the 20, upside 25, 30, and near the 35, that is where they will take over.
Good return to start the game out, Matt. Aggressively come up, make a play on that ball. 15 yards about on the return, and good field position to get things started. And now the Hilltoppers will be on offense, Matt, so things will quiet down dramatically here on this side of the field.
We'll be able to hear ourselves talk. Offense led by senior quarterback Drew Fetchick. Behind him, James Pettyjohn, Sean Carr, and Evan Ash, the running backs. Alex McDonald, the tight end, and we'll talk more about the line after this. Quick pitch out left side is caught. 40, 50, to the 40, the 30, to the 20, inside the 20, down near the 15-yard line, Nathaniel Solka.
The Hilltoppers are a run-first team, right? That's what Canfield knows. First play of the game, you run a bubble screen out to Solka. Wide open, plenty of space for him to just dart. Great play call to get things started here against Canfield.
The Hilltoppers pulling out all the stops. Solka goes in motion, will line up split end left side. Fetchick under center. Gonna hand it off. Pettyjohn, a couple moves, makes his way down toward the 7-yard line. Let's talk about those guys up front, and they've been there all year long in no particular order. George LeMaster, Nick Fay, Dylan Friend, Matt Klosky, and Jesse DeCipata. They have done a tremendous job. Hilltoppers will have the ball 2nd and 5 from the 7. They'll run it right side, lowering his shoulders, diving ahead. He's stopped shy of the goal line. That was James Pettyjohn. Boy, one of the Cardinals very slow to get up, holding his helmet. Hope the young man is okay. Looks to be.
Scott behind the blocker there, and strong, powerful run, and then, tried to go airborne to dive into the end zone and fell at the 1, but still 1st and goal for the Hilltoppers.
Solka checks back in, 1st and goal, Chardon. And they're having some communication issues. They need a play now. They're going to be forced to call a timeout if they can't hurry. Fetchick racing over, gonna give it, they're down to 5. And now the Hilltoppers forced to call the timeout.
That's a shame because you could tell the Hilltoppers wanted to come out fast and get a quick punch in early, and I don't think anyone wanted to have to take that timeout in that situation.
Timeout will allow us to run down the Canfield starters. They play with a 4-3 look. Guys up front include Nico Hauko, Toby Smith, Landon Russell, and Luke Rubin. Linebackers, Connor Hertz, Chris Samaroni, Drew Carochi. And in the secondary, your safeties, Brock Lowry, Ethan Fletcher, Luke Morrill, and Oliver Kovas are the cornerbacks. So here we go, 1st and goal from the 1. Hilltoppers. looking to get on the scoreboard. Man in motion, right side, touchdown Toppers! James Pettyjohn with the score.
Well, there you go, Matt. We've been talking about throughout the playoffs that the Hilltoppers are a team that'll wear you down. They'll just keep punching. They came quick today. The big pass play to start it up, and the Hilltoppers score fast to send the message to Canfield early. You're on our field, and it's going to be an uphill battle tonight.
Toppers now out to attempt the important PAT. Good snap, kick is up. And it is good. So 10:38 left to play in the first. The Toppers take an early 7-0 lead.
Well, tonight's special cablecast is funded by your cable subscriber franchise fees, and we'd like to again extend thanks to all the GTV funding communities, including those not funding tonight's contest, for their year-round support. They are Burton Village, Chardon Township, the City of Chardon, Middlefield Village, and Munson Township. Thanks again for supporting GTV, and thanks to all our viewers for their support. Well, Matt, I'm just kind of here sitting about, thinking, Canfield won the toss, deferred to the second half, but kind of think, it's general strategy. You want to play for a 2-for-1 at halftime, but you're also not usually a true road team in the regional finals and the playoffs, and you almost wonder if maybe it would have been better for Canfield to get the ball first and try to see if they could take some of the wind out of the sails of the Chardon faithful early. Instead, Chardon got to send a quick early message.
Well, I can actually make another argument against that. I would rather keep the Hilltopper defense off the field as much as possible, because that's a good unit.
That's a great unit, and the thing about it, if you're going to score, you're going to have to run into them eventually, and that's what teams have struggled with this year when they play Chardon.
Think about this, Ryan. The Hilltoppers throughout the playoffs have started with a score on their opening drive. Victories over Warren Howland 49-14, Geneva 57-13, and last week the blanking of New Philly 31-0. Taggart with a good kick fielded just in front of the goal line, making a cut and being stopped shy of the 20-yard line was Tony Panzunio. So Panunzio can't get to the 20. They'll mark it at the 19-yard line. And now the Toppers defense coming out on the field. We'll introduce them in just a second. Luke Robin, the QB, number 12 for Canfield, joined the backfield by Chris Samaroni and Michael Crawford. Hilltoppers are saying movement, and there's a flag, illegal procedure.
Well, instantly, we talked about the roar from this crowd in pregame. We asked about the home field advantage aspect to it, and it's here early. The cowbells are going, everyone's loud, everyone's screaming before the offense for Canfield can make their first snap. They commit a false start.
Starting wide receivers in this one for the Cardinals include Logan Torok and Aaron Sternthal, the tight end Luke Rubin. Guys up front, Nick Bowen, Landon Russell, Andrew Morchak, Michael Minoak, and Nick Bucco. They're going to look to throw right side on a screen. Hilltopper defense snuffs it out.
Screen pass and a great job getting off the block down there for the Hilltoppers in order to get in there and make the stop. I missed who it was, but someone just did a great job to get off a block for Chardon and make that tackle.
Let's talk about the Topper starters, the guys up front. Evan Gardner, Gavin Slife, Miles Mendezoon. The linebackers, Blake Barker, Vince Ferrante, Caden McDevitt, and Christian Hall. Looking to throw the ball right side, incomplete. Robin was looking for one of his receivers that they could not do it. He slipped and fell.
Yeah, that was underthrown there. Little short. It looked like he felt the pressure coming. The Hilltoppers, surprise Matt, had pressure coming in the backfield and thought he let go early, maybe off his back foot, and then caused the throw to come in short.
Guys in the secondary for the Toppers, Troy Liebhart, Nathaniel Salka, Brady Toth, and Kevin Doyle. Robin again dropping back to pass. Oh, it's picked off! Ferrante 25 and has it down inside the 15.
really screened the look there. He was going to go to the middle of the field. Great anticipation by Ferranti. He jumps the route, comes up with a huge interception, and the Hilltoppers are rolling. And you talk about business-like, Matt. This is a business-like start to this game for Chardon tonight.
The Hilltoppers are trying to exercise some demons. 0-3 all-time against the Cardinals. And boy, if they could get another score here, that would start to put the pressure on Canfield. Man in motion. Handed off right side. Pettyjohn trying to get around the corner. He does. Did he stay in bounds? Is he in the end zone? No! Out just shy. He tried to tiptoe it, but could not stay in bounds.
Yeah, that right foot just slipped out at the 3-yard line. Good job by the officials on the near sideline to be right on it. They made the right call, Matt, but first and goal, and the Hilltoppers doing whatever they want early in this one.
Ryan, big momentum is on the Hilltoppers side right now. First and goal from the 3. Fetchick under center. Pettyjohn in motion. The handoff. Carr up the middle. Is he in? No, stopped shy. Down near the 1.
Cardinals did a good job on that one, Matt. They ran the misdirection, faked the handoff to Pettyjohn, and Canfield able to stay home. Notice the ball went to Carr. They're able to get the start, but still, Hilltoppers pick up a little bit of extra yardage, and now they're on the 1, second down.
Not often that teams can shut Carr down near the goal line, but they did that time. Be second and goal now from the 1. Nathaniel Salka out left as the split end. Fetchick sends Ash in motion, hands it off, touchdown Toppers! Evan Ash the score.
Gave it to Ash, the motion man, coming in and taking that ball out the other side, came around the left tackle right into the end zone for the touchdown, and what a start for the Chardon Hilltoppers here in the regional finals.
Nathan Tagger now attempting his second PAT in the last, well, about 2 minutes. Kick is up, and it is good with 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. The Hilltoppers now up by 14.
Well, hey, shout out to all Chardon alumni wherever you are. Be sure to connect with the Alumni Association at chardonalumni.org. Sign up for email notices and more. We didn't have the all-class dinner this year, but we are gearing up for a huge all-class dinner next year. Stay tuned and stay connected.
Ryan, you look at what this Canfield Cardinal team has done from an offensive standpoint, and they have been able to put up a lot of points on the board this year. They've been able to have a very effective offense. And you talked about it early, a thousand kid at QB. We saw them come out, attempt 3 passes, didn't work their way. At some point, they're going to have to go back to the run.
Yeah, and you're going to have to look out for Ethan Fletcher besides their quarterback. Fletcher, 369 yards on the ground, 440 yards from the air. So Fletcher's the guy they're going to want to get involved in this game at some point as well. And so I'd say that Robin along with Fletcher are the 2 guys you want to watch for.
Canfield this year has rushed as a team for 2,300 yards. A big, physical, strong team. Kickoff going to be a bit short. Fielded around the 5, up to the 15, spun around, hit and dropped around the 16. Hilltoppers, again with some tremendous special teams coverage that time. It was Evan Gardner.
I'll tell you what, and that is now 2 kickoffs in a row where, you know, Chardon, they're just coming so hard. You could tell that the Hilltoppers came to play. They wanted tonight, Matt. They're just coming down so hard on these kickoffs. Canfield can't block them. And there has not been a lot going for Canfield on the kickoff returns.
Canfield will go to the gun. Receiver on each side. They will hand it off, trying to make his way up near the 18-yard line, but really not getting much more after that was Crawford.
A couple of ball hawks in there again for the Hilltoppers, just seeing where the play came, coming back in from the outside and closing that hole in a hurry to get the stop. Couple yards there for Canfield to move the ball forward, but good play by the Chardon defense.
2nd down and 8 from the 19. Getting loud here at Chardon Memorial. Gonna be like this all night long. Man goes in motion. They will fake. No, they did hand it off. Breaking a tackle around the 20, up near the 25-yard line was Ethan Fletcher.
Nice little play action there for, Canfield. We talked about how Canfield threw 3 times on that first drive. This time they go to an outside run. It's the first time they've gone to the outside run, and they found themselves a little bit of space out there, Matt, to pick up some yardage and get up to a 3rd and short here.
Gonna run it again. Nope, timeout.
Yeah, Canfield called that timeout just before the play was snapped. And discuss what they want to do here on 3rd and 2.
Well, is it too early to say it's a pivotal down here for Canfield?
Yeah, I want to say, yeah, I mean, definitely don't turn it over. It becomes a pivotal down if it's a turnover, I'll tell you that. And this side of the field again. We'll have to, Canfield's defense, Chardon came out with a lot of energy on the opening drive. Then there's a short field. I'd like to see what Canfield's defense can put up against the Hilltoppers offense on a full field and kind of a more regular situation before we know for sure if they can stop them or not.
3rd and 2 from the 25. Brock Lowry from the gun. Gonna take it himself, trying to get it. 2nd effort. He breaks a few tackles. He's still on his feet across the 40. Boy, I thought the Toppers had him. I don't know how he got out of that one.
2nd effort, and he got out. They don't have the heights and weights on the Canfield roster, but that is a big kid down there. He's hard to tackle. You really got to make sure you bring him down, and he was just elusive. He slipped right out of there, and he almost got into open field. So big first down there for Canfield.
First and 10 Cardinals from their own 42. Crawford now gonna line up as a wide out near side. Two receivers, and it looks like the Hilltoppers encroached, or were they drawn off sides?
It's going to be off sides, I believe. Just trying to 5 yards against Chardon, just trying to get the early jump on that blitz call, and trying to anticipate the snap count a little bit, and jumped at the wrong time. That happens. That's an effort type play right there. So it's not ideal, but you want the kid to be aggressive. So same thing again, be ready to get that quick jump, and let's go.
Brock Lowry, 3 receivers, 2 left side, 1 to the right. Gonna fake the handoff, throw over the middle. It is dropped.
You see the receiver slam his hands on the turf mat. That's one that he's going to want back down there. He was open. It was just a quick slant route. It would have picked up a first down. They're trying to get things moving, trying to get a positive going. That was Logan Torok down there who couldn't quite come up with the catch. And, that would have been a big play for Canfield, another first down. And he was frustrated. He might have heard the footsteps coming, but he just did not secure that football.
Well, Torok 2nd on the Cardinals in terms of receptions with 14. Only Fletcher has more with 36. Man goes in motion, Crawford. Lowry going to take it himself across midfield and is brought down at the 45-yard line. First down, Cardinals.
Yeah, good run by Lowry there. Nice play action fake on the sweep. And the Cardinals are getting something going, man. The Cardinals have been too good a team all year to think, even with as strong as Chardon has started, that they're just going to roll over and quit here. This is still going to be a game. It's still going to be a tight one. It's the regional finals. And I think now the Cardinals are starting to find their footing here in this game.
Big difference if it's 14-0 at this stage in the fourth quarter as compared to the first quarter. A lot of football to be played. You can certainly make up a 14-0 deficit running it on the ground. Lowry from the gun, emptied out the backfield. Torak goes in motion. They're looking at a potential option play. Now they're just going to clear it down the sideline. Incomplete.
Good work by the Hilltoppers there to get Lowry on the run. His receivers couldn't get open downfield. Good secondary coverage from Chardon, and it's going to bring up second down now.
Jake Petro, split end out to the right. Two receivers near side, including Torak. Lowry going to keep it himself and does not get much, maybe a few yards on that play. A lot of black jerseys there to make that stop.
Yeah, tackle by committee there from the Chardon Hilltoppers. Got right to the ball. They saw that Lowry had the football, and they weren't going to let him sneak out again. They let him sneak out earlier on this drive. That time they made sure they wrapped him up. 6 of them got in there to make sure he was brought down.
Will be third down and about 8. Ball on the, now we'll give him credit and say 44-yard line. Lowry feeling some pressure, throws it, is caught near the first down marker by Panunzio. Question is, did he get it?
They're marking him just short, so it's going to be a decision time for Canfield. That's a play you want to run on third down, though. You get a big receiver open in the middle on the soft spot of the defense between the blitz and the secondary, and he just didn't find the yard markers. So huge fourth down play here in the early part of this game.
Well, to me, you got to look out for Lowry just going straight up the gut here. Officials, I think, were about to send Vince Ferrante off the field due to an equipment issue, but they got it fixed. Toppers showing some pressure here on 4th and 1. They'll hand it off around the end, picking up the first down and then some. Ethan Fletcher with the big carry gets the first down for Canfield.
And when all is said and done, he's a guy who's going to be heavily involved for the Cardinals tonight. He has been all year. Good run for Ethan Fletcher. He was able to turn the corner, get into some space, and pick up that first down. So huge fourth down conversion for Canfield there.
Make no mistake about it, this is the best offense the Hilltoppers will have seen all year long. A timeout has been called. Mike Pavlansky going to call another timeout. That will be their second of this half here with 4:05 to play.
And we'll see what they come out with here. They've got to be, you don't want to use these timeouts like this early in this game, Matt, but if you're Canfield, you got to be feeling better. The game didn't start out great. You had a short kickoff. On the first play from scrimmage, Chardon hit you for about 50 yards. Then on your first drive, you turn the ball over on interception, but you're moving. You picked up a couple first downs, including a fourth down pickup. You got to feel good.
Folks, want to remind you the Chardon High School Athletic Department's holding a raffle going to take place during halftime of the varsity boys game on February 5th. Proceeds will help fund a new scoreboard here at Chardon Memorial. That's what you get if you win. That beautiful GMC Terrain. Second prize is $500. So we ask you to go online, and you saw the website there. Get those tickets, $25 a piece. Lowry dropping back to pass. Dropping out. He's hit. Throws it up, and it's incomplete, and a late flag comes out. I do not like where this flag was thrown.
Yeah, this is going to go against the Hilltoppers. They're going to get no, they're going to go holding. How about that? You were right, Matt. Where it was thrown, I thought they were calling the other one, but they call holding against Canfield, so I had the same thought as you, Matt. I had the same thing flashing in my head.
Well, you saw Nick Fay hitting him, and I thought, we're going to do this now. I can't touch the QB when they're throwing, but Chardon will take that holding penalty, mark Canfield all the way back to their 45-yard line. Big penalty against the Cardinals.
At a real crucial moment, too, because we were just talking about how Canfield looked like they had gotten their legs under them and were really getting going in this game, and they lose 10 yards there.
Now about 15, actually. First and 25. Lowry looks to run it right side, tries to cut it up. No!
Holding could have been called again down there, too, Matt. The Hilltoppers were able to make the tackle despite being held down there.
Mendezoon got to him and really did not let him get around that corner, forced him inside, and he just had nowhere to go.
No, and Mendezoon had the right tackle's arms pulling his shoulder pad down. He still made that tackle.
Loss of a yard on that play, so it'll be second down and 26 now from the Hilltopper 46. Lowry, a man in the backfield behind him now, two guys. He's dropping back to pass, feeling pressure, throws it away, incomplete. Boy, I don't know, were there any receivers around?
I know, he might have been, he must have just barely gotten into the spot where he was allowed to dump it off. But I'll tell you what, Evan Gardner came in a hurry. And I mean, you could tell Lowry felt that pressure coming and didn't know what to do. Gardner was in pursuit on a mission. Great play by Evan Gardner.
Third and 26 from the 46. This Hilltopper D, believe me, they do not like to give up yards. Lowry, 5 receivers, throw is incomplete again as he got hit. Toppers bringing the pressure, and now it's fourth down, and likely we're going to see Samaroni punting the football.
Well, Brady Toth came blitzing in from the outside, and he was unblocked, Matt. No one from Canfield picked him up, and he was able to get in the backfield to Lowry in a hurry.
This starting unit for Chardon has given up, I think, 4 touchdowns all year. And will stay that way again. Punt, going to take a Cardinal bounce near the 20 and goes out of bounds. With 3:09 left to play here in the first quarter, the Hilltoppers offense coming back out on the field for the 3rd time in this quarter.
And I mean, Matt, penalties can be so difficult, and you see it right there. Canfield, they're moving the ball on this drive, and then they commit a holding penalty. And they can't get the drive back on track. They're at 1st and 25, couldn't get it back on track. Great work by the Chardon defense to, once there was that moment where they had Canfield push back to really keep the pressure on.
The Cardinals coach throughout the playoffs has been talking about the need to win the battle of turnovers and points off turnovers. So far, it is Chardon's game because of that. Hilltoppers will run the football up the middle, picking up a few yards.
So this
was
is what
Sean Carr.
This is what I've been talking about. Waiting to see on a, on kind of a, now it's not the first drive of the game. There's not all that extra energy that there was. This isn't off of an interception. It'd be interesting to see on this full field how this Canfield defense can match up with this Chardon offense.
Keep this in mind, too. The Cardinals do have a number of their guys that go both ways in this game. Chardon, definitely not as many. Toppers will run it again, and getting the first down across the 30-yard line. That was Pettyjohn. Nice run by James.
And one of the things that's so important when you're playing Chardon, if you have two-way players, Matt, is not to fall behind early. Because if you fall behind early, Chardon's a team that'll wear you down, and just if you have a bunch of two-way players, it becomes even harder to come back late.
Immediately following the win over New Philadelphia, Coach Hewitt talked about this game being a heavyweight match just in terms of physicality. Fetchick will hand it off, and breaking a couple tackles out near the 40-yard line is Sean Carr.
Good strong run from Sean Carr, as we've gotten used to seeing, just running right up the middle there, first down run.
Coach Hewitt says Sean Carr is a very unselfish player, the kind of kid who gives you everything he has and he leaves it out on the field.
All you can ask for, really.
Well, I mean, when you think about this, Mitch actually was the fullback when he was here at Chardon. Topper's going to run the football, and Pettyjohn just stopped in the backfield. Fletcher got a hand on him and brought him down. But when Mitch was the fullback, he was getting the ball all the time, and it made him the Hilltoppers' all-time leading playoff runner. Now, Pettyjohn broke that this year, adding on to it now with every run that he makes. But for Sean Carr, this offense is different than what Coach Hewitt had back. Granted, it's the same wing T, but different plays. And the fullback, you don't touch the ball nearly as much anymore. Fetchick going to keep it himself, and Fetchick stopped in the backfield. They snuffed that one out.
Nice stop there by Canfield. To go back to real quick to your point on Sean Carr, I guess, despite the fact, it's a new wing T and the fullback isn't nearly involved, it's always a benefit to play the position the coach used to play, because the coach will find a way to get that position involved in the play calling.
Absolutely. Going to bring it 3rd down and 11 for Chardon. Wonder if we will see them go back to the air. They did that on the very first play of the game. It was a bubble screen out to Nathaniel Salka. Brady Toth split end left side. Man goes in motion. They're looking to throw the football toward double coverage. Toth adjusted. Comes down with no, he couldn't hang on. Ball was in double coverage, and Brady Toth, I thought for a second he had it, but too many white jerseys, Fletcher and Luke Morrell, and they just were able to knock it away.
Yeah, they're able to get up there and knock that one away. The two receivers were jockeying for position. If anyone's wondering if maybe a flag could have been thrown, I don't see how you could throw a flag. They were pushing at each other there to try to get some space open. And just great coverage down there by Canfield, preventing the reception.
Well, with a team like Canfield, you cannot expect to score on every single drive. That defense is just too good. Defense similar to Chardon's in a sense where they do not like to give up points. McDonald with the kick, gonna go out of bounds near side to the right.
And we'll see where they end up marking this one, but this is, it started out quick, but this is not going to be easy. Canfield is going to hang around in this game. We've now seen their defense kind of with some time after being on the field real quick and real bursts. We saw their defense come out, make the stop. I mean, we haven't seen Chardon at 3rd and 11 much at all in these playoffs. And they were at 3rd and 11 there on that drive. So I think, Chardon did good work. They got out to a quick start. Now things are going to settle down in this game.
Brock Lowry from the gun, 2 receiver set. He will hand it off. Crawford, and he is stopped in the backfield. Boy, pick your Hilltopper. Ferrante was one of the guys in there. I think I saw Christian Hall.
And that's been the story. Pick your Hilltopper, tackling by committee in the first quarter.
First quarter has come to an end. Hilltoppers up on top, 14-0. We'll take a timeout here on GTV. Chardon Hilltopper football is brought to you by the Junction Auto family and by the Chardon Smile Center and Persistent Orthopedic Specialties. We also thank Hazen Contracting, Inc., asphalt paving and seal coating. Our sponsors also include Conic Law and the Preston Superstore. We also thank Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service. We also thank Always Construction Company and Zarzer Motors. Welcome back, everyone. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. Switching sides of the field here now. The Cardinals going left to right to start the second quarter. Another handoff and another Hilltopper stop.
Big play again from the Hilltopper defense, and this is what we're going to see, I think, this game turn into here. And, the Hilltoppers scored twice quick, but I think this is going to turn into a real defensive battle. You talked about it. Mitch was talking about this is going to be a big-time bout, heavyweight battle, physical game, and we're starting to see that come to fruition now.
Michael Crawford has not had much luck running the football. They will empty him out of the backfield. 3 receivers left, 2 right. Lowry dropping back to pass. Has some time, looking to throw over the middle. It is caught near the first down marker. And
where they're spotting it, that'll give it to him.
Boy, I'm surprised there were no flags thrown on that play. I thought there was going to be a holding. Coach Hewitt barking at the officials. He wants it.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing for sure. That was the best protection that Canfield has had in this entire game so far. Plenty of time to throw, and the receivers still struggled to get open. Took a long time for that play to develop in the backfield.
Empty backfield again for Lowry. Going to take it, look like he might try a run play around the end, and he is going to be tackled near the sideline.
He got some positive yardage, couldn't quite turn the corner. Good work there by the Hilltopper linebackers to stretch that field out and not give Lowry any room to make the turn.
Pickup of a long 2 on that play. Well, I thought he was spotted to even get the ball a little bit better than the 45, but Lowry from the gun. And he's going to be, well, he'll avoid the pressure, steps up in the pocket, breaks a few tackles across the 45, midfield 50, first down across the 45.
Get an idea of why he's rushed for 1,000 yards this year, Matt. He's able to stay on his feet. He's got to. We've talked about this before. When you've got big runners, big guys in space, like in this case, the quarterback Lowry, you got to hit him low. The sack got in there, but they're trying to wrap him up top. He's just got too much muscle up there, and he was able to skate out of it. Got to hit him low, bring him down.
Well, and this Hilltopper defense knows better than that. They've stopped some very elite running backs over the course of this season, and they've done it by tackling properly. Ball's caught across the 30, 25, down inside the 20. Boy, more poor tackling by the Toppers. All of a sudden, the Chardon Hilltopper defense, what was once a staunch defense, now tackling like the Browns.
I mean, once again, that's another big receiver down there in space. That was Torok. He's a big guy, and you're right, the tackle was coming in high, but you want to talk about the play. Quick play action, Torok on a quick slant, got open in space, and was able to pick up a ton of yardage there. And, Matt, you're right. The Hilltoppers got to start getting back to hitting low when these guys are in space.
You got to hit them low and wrap them up. You cannot just try to hit them high near the shoulder pad and think these guys are going down. Again, this is a tough, physical Canfield team. Lowry going to try to keep it, trying to cut. Breaks a few tackles, ball's loose. Toppers have it. The Toppers have it. Solka racing down the field, the 40, 45, turning on the burners. Solka all alone into the end zone. Touchdown, Chardon!
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt. If you're going to play the regional, if you're going to be playing the regional finals down here as a road team, you cannot turn the ball over on the road in the playoffs. Canfield has done it twice. And this Chardon defense, Matt, right when you're sitting there saying, man, they're not tackling high, they get in there, great stop, strip the ball, pick it up all the way into the end zone for the second turnover, the first defensive touchdown of the game for the Hilltoppers. Huge turnaround there. Big turn of events for Chardon.
87-yard fumble return for the touchdown by Solka. Flags before that play. Procedure against the Hilltoppers. Back them up a little bit. And, all right, they're going to challenge Nathan now. That's okay. We've seen him hit a 37-yarder earlier this year in the playoffs.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt. Chardon's defense. You mentioned that. They knew they need to get that high tackle. I think they knew, and they came in there to get a turnover, and they got it.
Oh, they went for the strip, hands down. Tager now for the longer PAT. Boy, he is just masterful on those point-after attempts. Keeps it going. With 8:51 to play, the Hilltoppers are now up 21-0.
Well, hey, we'd like to send out a huge thanks to the Chardon Gridiron Club and our sponsors. If your business wants to get in the game with Copper football, contact Tim Semler at 440-487-3116 or Alex McDonald at 440-251-8214. Don't miss out on this unique opportunity to be a part of the action of Hilltopper playoff football.
So the Hilltoppers are dominating the turnover battle, and they're dominating the points off turnovers. 2 turnovers, 14 points.
Well, you know, football can get very basic in many ways, and Matt, you know this. If you talk to a coach pregame, you say, what do you need to do to win? Every coach will tell you the same thing before every day.
And they do.
We need to take care of the ball. We can't turn the ball over.
I was going to say, how often have you not heard a coach say that?
I've literally never heard a coach say that before the game. Every coach has told me, well, a key to us winning this game is to avoid turnovers, but to force turnovers. Canfield has not avoided turnovers so far.
I hear it a couple times a year, but it's because the coach is focused on other things. And in that case, it's generally just execution and playing penalty-free football. But it's similar. Kick will be picked up around the 5, 10, 15, 20. And the Cardinals will have the ball. Not too bad field position near the 23-yard line.
Earlier in the game, Matt, you asked if it was much score time yet for Canfield. It's still early, but here in the second quarter, they turned the ball over twice. You got to start to feel like, you know, with Chardon's defense, 3 touchdowns. Now, I do not think we have seen the best Canfield yet, but with Chardon's defense, a 3-touchdown deficit on the road, that's pretty daunting. So you're getting close already to much score time here for Canfield on this drive, just to say, hey, we are in this game. We're here.
If you are the Canfield Cardinals, you've got to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, and they have to make big plays. See if they start to do it this drive. They're going to go for the double reverse and making a few cuts and being brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Boy, the Hilltoppers were ready for that one.
Chardon's defense is too good for that. We saw a couple weeks ago Geneva try to run a couple trick plays against Chardon. This defense, they do too good a job of staying at home, knowing their assignments, knowing what their job is. They don't bite on things like that. They wait to see how the play is going to develop. Very difficult to trick the Chardon D.
So Aaron Sternthal did get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10. 3 receivers right and 1 to the left. Well, back in the backfield for Brock Lowry. Dropping back to pass, throwing over the middle, and it's knocked away, incomplete.
Oh, that was fantastic coverage.
Kevin Doyle in on that coverage.
Looking for Logan Torok again, and Torok had that big reception on the last drive, but that time Doyle stayed home to get him.
Well, Kevin Doyle needs the team. That is his 12th pass breakup on the season. Of course, it was Kevin Doyle who had the goal line interception last week, stopping a New Philadelphia potential touchdown. Lowry again feeling pressure. Miles knocked him down. He's able to get the pass off, and the Toppers get a stop. Very few yardage from Pennunzio after that catch.
Yeah, he does a good job to get back there and get to a spot where his quarterback can at least dump it off and not have to take a huge sack. But still, this is going to be 4th and 5, and Canfield's going to punt it away. And any momentum that the Cardinals were building was gone on that fumble return for a touchdown.
You know, it's hard to believe, but the Canfield offense has controlled the clock in this first half, and they're down 21-0 right now.
As you said before,
Toppers will take it at the 25, 30, 35 right side, and not much more after that.
You said earlier in the game, Matt, Canfield needs to keep Chardon's defense off the field. They have not done that tonight.
No.
And Chardon will take it. If Chardon's defense is out on the field 2-1, they know they have an offense. That means our offense scored enough.
No, and here's the thing. The reason why I said that is the Hilltopper defense may score on you, but they will not beat you up physically like the Hilltopper defense will. And that's where Chardon really does wear down their opponents, especially the two-way guys. It starts on the defensive side, then you hit the third quarter, and it's when the offensive guys really start to pound you. You run in the fullback up the middle. You see guys like, again, LeMaster, Fay, Friend, Klosky, Desipeta. I mean, those guys can just blow right through you. Hilltoppers now going to take a timeout here, 1st and 10 from the 36. Each team will have 1 timeout left after this.
Now, please remember, nonprofit organizations from our funding communities can send us their announcements of interest at GTV, P.O. Box 336, Chardon. Fax us at 285-9897 or email us at geaugatv@windstream.net.
Defend the Hill. That was the message from Coach Hewitt after last week's game. And the Hill has been very kind to the Toppers during the Hewitt tenure here, Ryan.
It really has been. You were giving me those numbers earlier, Matt.
43-6.
Only lose 6 times. And that the cool wrinkle about this playoff format is the Hilltoppers got all these games here where they're dominant.
And keep this in mind too, folks. One of those losses was against the Canfield Cardinals. Up, another flag, and now Canfield gives the Hilltoppers a 1st and 5 on that encroachment. You have to wonder, Ryan, are maybe they starting to press now, thinking that they've got to make a big play?
Well, it's got to be in the back of their mind, but it's kind of similar. We saw someone on Chardon jump off sides earlier in the game. It's just you think you know the snap count, you want to get that extra snap jump, and they change it up on you. And hey, accidents happen. That was one.
1st and 5 Toppers. Tight wing T formation. Man in motion is Pettyjohn. Give is to Sean Carr. 1st down across midfield. A couple of Cardinals in on the stop, including Drew Carochi.
Right up the middle. I remember on Carr's first run of this game, Canfield stopped him on the goal line. You're like, oh, don't see that very often. They haven't stopped him since. He's had big runs ever since that first run of the game.
He's starting to pick up 5 yards a rush, and when you see that happen, that is all due to just a physical offensive line getting the push. Sean Carr is a battering ram, opening up some holes. You have Evan Ash, another guy, excellent blocker. Pettyjohn the call this time. Pettyjohn trying to get through a couple guys, could not do it, picks up a few yards. And now official's gonna.
Good play by Fletcher there to get the stop, but we talked about it before, and when you just look at these two-way guys, I mean, Fletcher's a guy who is one of the top rushers and one of the top receivers on this team, and he's out there having to play defense against Chardon too.
It takes a toll. Carr lost his helmet, had to come off the field for a play. Pettyjohn back in motion. And up the middle, that's Vince Ferrante, the ball carrier. Ferrante has carried a couple of times this year. Began the year in training as a running back, but was deemed too valuable. Now just on a rare occasion where Sean Carr has to come off the field, Vince will come back out.
And you like that they put Ferrante in the game, and even though he doesn't do it regularly, they have confidence in him. He's out there for one play. They give him the football, let him pick up 5 yards.
Well, he played running back last year a little bit, carried the ball a few times. Pettyjohn, running room. Pettyjohn, the 1st down near the 35-yard line. And Chardon starting to pick up yardage.
One of the things that would be nice about being a running back in the Mitch Hewitt offense is eventually he's going to call your number. Everyone's number gets called at some point in time.
I want you to think about this. There was a game earlier this year, and I believe it was the Howland game. 7 different players scored touchdowns in that contest.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, they spread the football. And when I said, it's not passing in terms of, they like to get different guys the football when time allows. Topper's going to redo that. Pettyjohn gets it again, trying to cut the corner, and he can't do it. Strung out by Canfield. Ethan Fletcher was the first guy there and did not let him go north and south.
Yeah, that was great work by Fletcher. He's doing good job from the linebacker position. Did the same thing on the other side of the field earlier. Just, you said, stringing out that field, making sure there's no corner to turn. But it's a lot of lateral running for the running back for Canfield out here on the defensive side of the ball.
Clock running about 4:30 now here before halftime. Toppers taking their time. up 21-0. Cardinals will get the ball to start the third quarter. Keep that in mind. Fetchick lining guys up, and now the Hilltoppers, boy, Coach Hewitt not happy at all. Forced to burn their final timeout here with 4:18 to go. Folks, you see the scoreboard right there, and there's a reason why. See all those little lights that are burned out? It's not necessarily the lights, but the, I don't know what you want to call it, the electrical pieces behind them, if you will. And those aren't that good anymore. They've stopped making parts for the scoreboard, and we need your help in fixing, or actually not fixing, but getting a new scoreboard. To do that, go to chardonathletics.org. Tickets $25 a piece for the raffle. What do you win? A 2020 GMC Terrain. Look, that is so sleek.
It's a vehicle I want to be driving around in, I'll tell you that.
It could be yours. Could be anybody's.
Could be anybody's, that's correct.
Thanks going out to the Junction Auto family for supporting Chardon High School and being a part of this giveaway. Second prize, not too shabby, $500.
Not a bad prize. I'd take that as well.
Absolutely. 2nd and 10 Toppers. Fake the handoff. Fetchick puts the ball up in the air and overthrows McDonald as he was under a lot of pressure. Fetchick actually was tackled as he threw the football. Good job to get it away and make sure it wasn't picked off. Toby Smith was the guy who brought the pressure.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. He just had to get rid of that. Toby Smith was there. That's a big guy. It's a tough guy to block, and Toby Smith able to get around that offensive line, and that was the right decision by Fetchick. Just get rid of it and live for this third down. I mean, you're in 4-down territory here if you're Chardon, so you could pick up 5 and 5 to move the chains.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for it on 4th down at this stage of the game. 3rd and 10. Pettyjohn in motion. They fake. Now they're looking to throw. Left side and incomplete. Looking for Salka, and Fetchick just was off the mark there.
Pass came in a bit short. Might have been some more pressure coming to the backfield again, forcing Fetchick to maybe get rid of that football a little bit earlier than he wanted to.
Fourth and 10 Chardon. And you have to wonder if maybe we might see a little bit of trickeration here on 4th down and 10. See what they decide to do. Maybe they will attempt to draw Canfield offsides. Who knows? Although they don't have a timeout left at this point in time. So they've got to go with a play here. Fetchick faked it. Now he's going to cut up the field. Fetchick on his feet. Fetchick keeps going. He's near the 1st down marker, but will come up ultimately a few yards shy.
Got to give him credit, though, Matt. That play looked like it was going to be brought back in the end zone, or in the backfield, brought down in the backfield. And he was able to just kind of find a hole and sneak through it. Then he found another hole, and he was fighting, nearly got there, but a big turnover on downs, and that's a good stop there for the Canfield defense, because Chardon was moving the ball down the field, and they're able to stall him out.
Well, now Canfield will bring its offense back out on the field, and they have spent a lot of time on this field tonight. 1st and 10 from the Topper, 1st and 10 from their own 28. Lowry going to carry it himself. Lowry stopped after maybe a pickup of 1. Again, a lot of black jerseys. Boy, these guys just continue to be ball hawks.
Yeah, you just got to get there. Get to Lowry. Lowry's a big guy. He's a dangerous runner, 1,000-yard rusher on the year. Just get to him. If he's got the ball, and that's what the Hilltoppers are doing, that's why. Who tackled him? 4, 5, 6 guys? That's the answer to that question.
I don't know if you could say who was the first to get there because there were so many guys there. 2nd and 8 for Canfield. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Fake the handoff. Some pressure. Could be a holding. And Lowry's going to get away from it. Still continuing to break some tackles and brought down near the 36-yard line. Boy, the Hilltopper fans are not happy. Neither is the coaching staff. They want some flags.
Hilltopper football fans do want those flags. I have to say the officials have been pretty consistent in letting the guys get away. There's only been 1 holding call today, so they've been pretty consistent with how they're calling it, but Hilltopper faithful would definitely like to see that flag come out a little more.
3rd down and 1 for Brock Lowry and company. Gonna fake it. Now he's gonna try to run it. Spun around, and Lowry fell forward for the 1st down at the 39-yard line.
Just ran the QB draw there. You know, that's that quick QB draw is kind of the shotgun's answer to the old get under center and fall forward. Just going to snap it to him, and he's going to come forward right away. And he was able to get across the line. He faked like he was going to roll out, only took half a second, then just came forward into the hole and dove in.
Canfield does have one timeout left. Clock not on their side now. 2:25 and counting here before halftime. They are down 21-0. Lowry from the gun, looking to throw the football. Will throw it. It's incomplete, off the hands of his intended target, Ethan Fletcher. Fletcher had to dive for it and could not come up with it.
Nathaniel Sulka gets a hand on that. Dangerous pass over the middle of the field there by Lowry, especially with the Hilltoppers kind of zoned up there, and they nearly intercepted it.
Folks, invite you to stick around because during halftime we will have the fabulous Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band for you. Last time you will see them this year here at Chardon Memorial. Second and 10 from the 39. Lowry dropping back the pass again. Throws over the middle. The ball's knocked away. Brady Toth got his hand on it.
Great play by Brady Toth. Another pass defense. That's his second pass breakup of the game there, Matt. So he's doing well down there. And, Canfield's gotten themselves forced into a situation where they have to throw, and it's made what is usually a very good two-dimensional offense look a bit one-dimensional here.
Well, Brady Toth leads the team with 3 interceptions this season. He's a very dangerous player in the secondary. It's getting loud again. 3rd and 10 from the 39. Nobody in the backfield. Lowry has to quickly dump it off. He does. The ball's caught, and it's going to be shy of a first down. Well shy. Fletcher brought down from behind.
And that no opportunity to get their play to develop there, as Christian Hall was coming into the backfield unblocked and just forced the quick dump off pass.
Here's my question for you now. 4th and 5 from the 45. Do you go for it here, or do you just punt the football thinking, okay, if we punt, we're going to pin Chardon back, and they're going to have less than a minute and a half to score?
You're down 21-0 on the road. You were able to force the Chardon Hilltoppers to a stop last time. Why not go for it?
And that's what they're doing. Brock looking to throw over the middle. It's caught. First down for the Canfield Cardinals. Had to thread the needle a little bit there, but Pennunzio able to hang on to it, and it gives the Cardinals new life here with about 1:19 to go.
Sometimes, Matt, you need to make the bold play, and that's what the Cardinals did right there. They're down 20. If they can score here, they get the ball to start the second half. That's on their mind, and they went for it. They picked up the first down.
Time not on their side. About a minute to play. Lowry again has some time. Being flushed out. Going to tuck it. 45 out of bounds near the 43-yard line. Will stop the clock temporarily with 56 seconds left to go.
Good decision by Lowry. Knew he had to get out of bounds. Still managed to pick up about 5 yards.
Second down and 6 from the Topper 43. One back in the backfield for Lowry. That's his fullback. He has some time to throw. Going to throw toward the left side. It is caught by Fletcher. First down near the 24-yard line. Actually stepped out of bounds near the 22. First down with 49 seconds to go.
Good route run there by Fletcher. Good job by Lowry to find the spot, make the pass.
And boy, if you're Canfield, a score now and a score coming out of half, that's a 14-point swing.
And you'd be right back in this game. Even a score here is a huge spot for Canfield.
Bit of a low snap. Lowry steps up looking to throw. It's picked off again! Nathaniel Sulka again returning and breaking a tackle on his feet. 40. Sulka brought down at the 45-yard line. Nathaniel Sulka is having a game to remember here in the first half.
Ethan Fletcher was the intended receiver, and Ethan Fletcher slipped. He was on the ground, and Sulka got to the spot, and it was almost like the ball was thrown right to him. Great work by Sulka to get to that spot, and the Hilltoppers take advantage of the situation. And, Matt, it's a broken record. if you're on the road in a playoff game, you cannot turn the ball over, and Canfield has now turned the ball over 3 times in the first half.
Hilltoppers defense, according to Gary Parrish, 19 sacks, 20 takeaways entering tonight. They've been adding that takeaway total. With 38 seconds, Toppers might try a couple plays here to get in the end zone. See what they do. Looking to throw the football. Fetchick stepping up over the middle, going to throw it over everybody's head. Was looking for Toth. Incomplete.
And Canfield was looking for that too. They had 3 defenders on Toth there. Probably had a feeling they might try to use that split end for a quick touchdown. And so now this will be the interesting decision. For the Hilltoppers, they don't have the ball to start the second half, but up 3 scores. Do they want to risk turning it over, or now will they keep it on the ground and see if they can get off a big run instead?
I would love to see a bubble screen here to Blake Barker, but he's not in the game. Man in motion, they will hand it off. Pettyjohn has some running room. Pettyjohn on his feet, and he could be gone. Pettyjohn down the sideline. One man takes him out of bounds near the 15. Ethan Fletcher, the touchdown saving tackle.
Great play by Fletcher, Matt, to get in there at the last second and make that stop. But still, Pettyjohn sprung forward, and we said, hey, maybe they'll just run it and see if they get a big run, and they did.
Problem now for Chardon, you have no timeouts.
And, and that's why even in a 21-0 game, those timeouts are important, and you mentioned it. Coach Hewitt looked a little frustrated they had to use the 3rd timeout, and this is why.
1st and goal from the 10. Actually, I take that back. 1st and 10. Toppers will run the football, and they've got to hurry very quickly here. Time running down. They went straight ahead. Believe what they're going to do is spike the football here and bring Nathan Tager out to attempt a PAT. That's what they do. So 7 seconds left to go. The Hilltoppers going to bring on their stud kicker. And this actually is an important touch. It's an important try here, because if Nathan can make this, it is a 4-possession game at that point in time for Canfield, because they now could not take the lead on touchdowns and 2-point conversions. Tager, the field goal attempt near side. Kick is down, it's up in the air. It is good! With 2 seconds left to go, Nathan Tager kicks the field goal.
Just very smooth, I'll tell you what. Tager's got a lot of leg, and that was never in doubt. He was able to get that one up there, get it through the uprights, and that's another huge turnover by Canfield as the Hilltoppers keep turning turnovers into points. 17 points off of turnovers for Chardon tonight.
The Hilltoppers have made big stop after big stop in this game, and they are making the Canfield Cardinals pay. And right now, that is a 10-point swing potentially, because Canfield was, they were moving the football.
There have been a couple times where it looked like Canfield was maybe starting to get their legs under them and get something going, but they haven't been able to get out of their own way. It was the big 15-yard holding penalty on one drive. They've turned the ball over 3 times, and a big part of that goes to the Chardon defense. And, the Chardon crowd has been loud today, and I think that, the Chardon fans are doing their part as well to help their defense down there on the field tonight.
24-0 Hilltoppers, 2 seconds left to go here. And I'm guessing this is going to be a bit of a squib kick here, not wanting to get this in the hands of some of the dangerous return men for Canfield. Indeed it is. Hits off of an up back, picked up, and the return man will not get very far. That was Chris Mock who was able to pick up the football. Folks, we head into halftime. It has been all Chardon in this one. Hilltoppers lead 24-0. Hilltopper Playoff Football on GTV is brought to you by the Junction Auto family and the Chardon Smile Center. We also thank Precision Orthopedic Specialties. And Hazen Contracting, Inc., asphalt paving and seal coating. Thanks going out to Conic Law. And the Preston Superstore. Also, Burr Funeral Home. And Always Construction Company. We also thank Zarser Motors.
Students in front of you, and we are grateful to kids and their parents for their flexibility and dedication in preparing the band for this new normal. From wearing masks in rehearsal to social distancing, it has not been easy. But here we are to entertain you. Our opening piece will feature our senior trumpets, Anna Gerstner, Mackenzie Brown, Ben Perry, Jesse Desapita, and Mateo Chavera. Here is our exciting Latin number, Aztec Fire. Our next two numbers were selected by our senior band members. Up first from the mega group Queen, this tune was released in 1979. It was Queen's first #1 U.S. hit single the following year in 1980. From our senior sophomore year and featuring our top barrettes under the direction of Mrs. Debbie Staple and Mrs. Caitlin Sanders, here is Crazy Little Thing Called Love. From our seniors' freshman year, we bring you this heavy-hitting rock tune by Fall Out Boy, with our majorettes Hallie, Faith, Julianne, Savannah, Lauren, and Courtney. Here is Light 'Em Up. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Chardon High School Fight Song.
Hilltopper Football is brought to you by the Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club and by Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company and Sherwin-Williams. We thank Achilles Running Shop and Roniak Paving. Also, McRae Metal Products and OsteoStrong. Additional support tonight courtesy of Brock Construction Company and Impact Church. We also thank Shoreside Plumbing and Alvords. Welcome back, everyone. Chardon Memorial, Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you. Folks, it's been one heck of a first half for the Hilltoppers. And if you want to show your Chardon pride, we have some stuff here tonight that can help you do so. Take a look at this great Chardon sign right here. It is just tremendous, and you can get that courtesy of the Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club. They've got a number of signs. They've got the helmets, the megaphones. And if you're interested, make sure you call or text them. Number there, 44. Well, you saw the number at the bottom of the screen. We'll get back to it again. But they've got all these different kinds of signs, in large, medium, and small. We've been showing you the small sign too throughout the year. My personal favorite, the LED lit sign.
It's an awesome one. We've said it before, great for the basement.
You see the number right there to call or text your order, 440-364-4937. They also have cornhole sets, megaphones. I mean, you name it. You just go to the Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club website, chardongridiron.org. Again, chardongridiron.org for all the info there. Hilltoppers, wow, They approached the tee quickly. A high, short punt. Canfield got under it, and it looks like they will maintain possession of the ball. Boy, I didn't expect that, Ryan. That was quick.
I didn't either, but you know what? We know that the Hilltoppers like to have the first drive of the second half, and so they popped one up and said, hey, if something crazy happens and you can't hold on to it and it bounces around, maybe we'll end up with it. Canfield's able to hold on to it, though, and they'll start on offense.
So, Brock Lowry going to bring his boys back on the field. They'll go back to the run, breaking a couple tackles. Getting near the 45-yard line is Crawford. Boy, Michael Crawford, his best run of the night.
That was a great run by Crawford, too. He ducked his shoulder, was able to get under a couple tackles. Well done.
Uh-oh. Nathaniel Salka needing a little bit of help from the training staff. He is very slow to get up. Well, he's not getting up. Boy, that is a huge blow if he is injured. Hopefully just lost some air on that play. Crawford coming into tonight's game, averaging about 6.5 yards a carry. Training staff will go to work on Salka on the sidelines, hope he's okay. Nathaniel's a tough young man. Crawford again gets the call. Going to work his way right side, and he is hit by a wall of Hilltoppers on 2nd and 1.
And he didn't quite get enough with forward progress. Or did he? He did. They're moving it. I was going to say forward progress, looks like they can move it, but he did run into that wall. The Hilltoppers got there, able to bring him down. But Crawford is another big guy. And, Matt, one thing you notice about Canfield is everyone on this offense is big for the Cardinals.
Absolutely. Most teams would love their size of offensive line, I'll put it that way. Lowry from a gun, empty backfield, pressure, throws it, it's caught. 45-40 down near the 35-yard line. Big possession. Panunzio with the catch. Boy, he's made a couple big catches so far in this game, and he came in with just 4 catches on the year.
Good route, too. It was designed for a quick pass. He got exactly where he needed to get, and Lowry got the ball out to him in a hurry. That was well executed by Canfield.
Cardinals quickly getting to the line. They've got to hurry. At least they feel right now, because they've got the Hilltoppers backing up. Lowry going to keep himself, trying to get around the corner. No! Who was it? I think it was Doyle and Blake Barker as well.
Yeah, it was just too much pressure down there, Matt, from the Hilltoppers, and there was nowhere to go, and that turns into a big loss for Canfield of about 3 yards there, so good play for Chardon.
Hilltoppers happy to push the Cardinals back on 1st down. Brings up 2nd down and 15 from the 42. Lowry dropping back to pass, quick throw near side is caught. 45-40, spinning around 35, on his feet near the 33-yard line. Boy, they are just falling forward and getting some big plays. Panunzio again with the reception.
Good little screen pass there, get it to the outside, couple of good blocks in front of it, and they're able to get up to a 3rd and manageable after a 2nd down and 13. Hey, if you can go from 2nd and 13 to 3rd and 5, that's a pretty good play there. That's what you want to do.
Fay going to check in for Gavin Slife. Third and 5. Lowry going to step up, tuck it, and run. Makes a cut 30, 25, and slides down at the 20.
Nice draw play there by Lowry, and if Lowry gets into space, he gets so tough to bring down, Matt, and he was able to get his way around a couple of tackles again for another 1st down. So here we go. Canfield's been down here before, Matt. Last time they lost it on a fumble.
Again, this Hilltopper defense, at times they play smothering, and a few times it's been bend but don't break. Only 4 teams have scored against them this season. They handed off Crawford, trying to come right side, hit and dropped. Christian Hall in on the stop.
Good work by Christian Hall. Linebacker gets in there, makes a nice stop. He's been providing some pressure from the outside throughout the night. He makes another one there.
will bring up 2nd down and 10. Lowry stepping up in the pocket, gonna flush out near side, being chased, will throw it, has a man wide open near the 15, makes a cut at the 10, toward the 5, and down just shy of the end zone. It was Fletcher.
Well executed play there by Canfield, Matt, and the Cardinals have come out of the locker room, and it looks like in the locker room they took a deep breath, they had a conversation, probably one of those old conversations coaches have where they remind you of everything you've done this year to this point, and they've come out with their best drive of the game so far here.
1st and goal from the 1. Lowry gonna keep it himself, goes straight ahead. No signal from the officials. Now there is from the far side. Touchdown, Cardinals.
If you're Cardinal, that's the drive you needed to open up this second half. After being stymied throughout the first half, 3 turnovers, you come out, you score a touchdown. You know, you had the opening drive of the half, you take advantage of it, and you know, you just get on the board and let everyone know that you came here to play today, and see if maybe now Canfield in the locker room was able to find something to get themselves back on track.
Jonathan Schmidt out to attempt the PAT. No. Beg your pardon, folks. They're going for 2. Down 24. Why not? Lowry, low snap, picks it up, looking to throw toward the end zone. Incomplete.
Interesting decision, Matt. You could keep it a 3-possession game if you keep converting 2-point conversions. You only need 3 touchdowns, but that's difficult. And there's an old saying about never chasing points. Now, you don't need 2 more touchdowns and a field goal. You need to find the end zone 3 more times. I mean, you know, it's difficult to decide to chase points. It's what they went out to do.
Well, that was the decision Mike Pavlansky and his team made, and it means that their team now is going to face a little bit of a bigger deficit than normal. They are down 24-6 at this point in time, and you just have to wonder, we're now nearing that midway point of the 3rd quarter. If they're not able to get another quick score, will they have time to get back in this game?
Well, the one thing you have to hope is you're Canfield. You came out, fresh start, marched right down the field and scored a touchdown. You have to hope that missed 2-point conversion didn't take momentum away from that drive you just opened the second half with. But they went right for 2, Matt. I got a feeling that drive went exactly as they scripted it in the locker room.
All but the 2-pointer. Kickoff. McDevitt will take it at the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Actually, Blake Barker gets loose. Blake, 40, midfield 50. Blake looks to be gone. There's a couple flags down, though. He's in the end zone for a touchdown, but will it stand?
We will have to wait and see, Matt. I got a feeling this is in the area of a block in the back or a hold, and I think this is coming off from Chardon. That flag's around the 20-yard line, so that's going to push that return all the way back to somewhere around the 10, depending on what this flag is for.
Well, we had not.
It is a block in the back.
We have not really seen Blake Barker in the offense tonight. And finally, he gets the ball, and he made some magic happen. Unfortunately, wiped off the field.
It's an unfortunate play there, but you take it going. So you kind of look, you know, you want to think back how the first half of this game start. A Chardon score, Canfield interception, Chardon score. Second half starts, Canfield score. Now Chardon on a kickoff return with the big block in the back penalty to start from their own 10-yard line.
Oh, what the Hilltoppers need here is a long, time-consuming drive. Pettyjohn comes set on the right side. Fetchick under center, puts Pettyjohn in motion. Pettyjohn with the handoff, trying to get around the right side. No, stopped in the backfield, wrapped up and brought down very quickly. That was Connor Hertz with the stop.
Good play by Hertz. We talked about Chardon doing it defensively in the first half, just running the string there, stretching that out so there's nowhere to get on the outside. That's one of the keys to stopping Chardon, is to be able to contain, have your linebackers contain on that outside so there's nowhere for those running backs to turn that corner and run off those big runs.
Loss of 5 on the play, 2nd down and 15 now from their own 5. Hilltoppers have to be very careful here. Fetchick under center, man in motion, and they will give it right side, gaining a few yards back. That was Pettyjohn.
Good misdirection play, at least gives the Hilltoppers some breathing room here. It's still 3rd down and 8, but they're on their own 12 instead of their own 5 now.
He picked up 7 yards right there, so it'll be 3rd down and 8. Fetchick fakes the handoff, going to keep it himself right side. Fetchick falls across the 21st down, Chardon.
Big run for Drew Fetchick, and the senior quarterback steps up and does just enough and makes the big play to move the chain. Says, man, that's danger territory there. You want to talk about big momentum swings. If you go from a touchdown to a 3-and-out like that, that'd be a huge swing for Canfield. But Drew Fetchick, you call on your seniors, Matt, when you need those big plays like that. He delivered.
Matt Mysick brings in the play. First and 10, Chardon from their 20. The give, and spinning around, picking up a nice chunk of yards there, was Evan Ash. Evan, a young man who had troubles turning over the football in his first couple years here in Chardon, but Coach Hewitt has talked about this. Evans worked so hard this year to control that and to stop it. And he's done such a tremendous job that all that hard work's paid off. And now he's one of the reliable ball carriers on this squad.
Absolutely. When they call his number, he's always ready for the task.
2nd and 5. Fetchick looking to throw. Gets it off. Ball's caught by Angelo Ferrante near the 1st down mark.
That's a great route by Angelo Ferrante. It's designed as a quick pass. You get to the 1st down marker, turn around and make the catch. But make sure you get that 1st down. Angelo Ferrante did that. Found the marker, turned around, made the catch. Well executed play.
Angelo does not get a lot of passes thrown his way. Nice to see that one here in the postseason. He's got just a couple. And depending on how things go with Nathaniel Salka, he may be getting some more playing time. Fetchick going to keep it himself. Fetchick crosses the 35 up near the 37-yard line, and a nice run by the QB on 1st down. You know, we did not see Drew Fetchick carry the ball a lot in the first half, Ryan, but now with the guys, with Canfield kind of keying in on the running backs, he's starting to get some open looks and is keeping the ball.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see more of that. You're able to you didn't show them that much in the first half, and you also have to keep in mind, despite the fact they were able to get out to a 24-0 lead, the Chardon offense was really not on the field all that much in the first half of this game.
No. Second and 5 from the 37. It's Carr the carry, and Carr the 1st down across the 45 near midfield. He picked up about a good 10 yards there.
I mean, Carr got through the first lines of defense untouched. No one touched him on the defensive line, nor did any of the linebackers. He got in the secondary before he was brought down. Great blocking in front of that run by the Hilltoppers. It's difficult to run through 2 lines of defense up the middle, Matt, and not get touched.
Hilltoppers offense This is what they do, folks. They can gain some chunks of yards, they can chew up some clock, and they can bury you. Pettyjohn, a little bit of a move across midfield, picked up about 4 on that run. Nice job just to stop, reassess, and then shoot through that little hole.
Yeah, found the little gap that Carr managed to open up for him, and Pettyjohn did. He kind of jumped over Carr to get into that little gap and pick up a couple of yards there.
Mysick back into the game as the split end. 5'9", 165 for the senior. 2nd down and 7. Pettyjohn the call again. Pettyjohn has an opening, makes a cut left side, right side, I beg your pardon. He's off to the races trying to cut the corner, and Brock Lowry, the QB for Canfield, brings him down. Lowry, who plays strong safety, was the man who brought down James Pettyjohn.
First of all, I'm surprised by how many of these teams we've seen in the playoffs are running their quarterback out there in the defensive secondary, but a lot of them have. But Pettyjohn, what a great work. I mean, the field vision, he completely changed direction there, Matt, to get into the open space.
One of his bigger runs of the night, not his biggest. He had that toward the end of the first half. Toppers in business here. 1st and 10 from the Canfield 20. Pettyjohn again in motion. This time it's Carr. And Carr goes ahead to pick up a few tough yards right there.
Yeah, he was able to pick up a couple. You're right, tough yards. And the physicality has definitely been there in this game today. These are two big teams that pride themselves on the defensive side of the ball. And we've seen that come out in just the physicality tonight.
Well, the Chardon offense, led by James Pettyjohn, 177 rushing yards last week on 20 carries. Gonna run it to the left side, and Fetchick picks up some good real estate right there.
It's close to a 1st down. I don't think they're quite there, but good run by Fetchick, and he was able to just stretch that out and pick up about 6 yards.
You look at Drew Fetchick averaging about 5 yards a carry. Most attempts on the team entering tonight. He had 108, Pettyjohn had 94. Third and 2 from the 13. And it's, who has it? I couldn't even tell. The great misdirection. Toppers will be close to the end zone.
Yeah, I also couldn't tell with that misdirection. Ash had it.
Evan Ash, he lost his helmet, had it stripped off. He has to come out for the next play.
Still enough to pick up the 1st down there and move the chains, and good reliable run there. 1st and goal for the Hilltoppers. And hey, Chardon is, you know what else they're doing, Matt? Running the clock.
No, it's what they needed to do. 1st and goal from the 4, under a minute to play here in the 3rd quarter. And they're looking to punch it in on this possession. Ferrante split end left side. Man in motion. And Fetchick gonna keep it himself, looking for the corner. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Toppers!
Good work there by Fetchick to stretch it out and get to the outside into the end zone for a touchdown. And Matt, how about that? Such a key for Chardon to understand what this drive did. Canfield came out and scored. Then pinned the Hilltoppers back after a penalty on their own 10. Then the Hilltoppers were on 2nd and 15 from their 5. And Matt, they just marched down the field, ran the clock. Canfield scored on their initial drive out of the locker room. There's now only 32 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. They haven't touched the ball since. That's what Chardon did. Such a huge drive for Chardon. Not just the fact they scored, but they basically took the 3rd quarter away from Canfield.
Tager now out to attempt the PAT. It is up, and no doubt about that, it is good. With 32 seconds left to play in the third quarter, the Hilltoppers lead Canfield by a score of 31-6.
Well, hey, high school sports is just a part of our programming lineup on GTV. Our coverage continues all year long for Berkshire, Cardinal, Notre Dame, Cathedral Latin, and Chardon sports. We're in our 25th year, and we're nearing the end of fall sports, but we're looking forward to another action-packed winter of high school sports. Check channels 1020 and 1025 and the GTV website at www.geogatv.org regularly for replay dates and times. Don't forget, the community and school bulletin board services provided 24 hours a day on GTV 1020 and 1025. Check www.geogatv.org for details.
Winner of this contest, by the way, gets the winner of Holy Name and Tiffin Columbiana. That game going on right now as well. Yes, the sousaphone's cranking it up here. This, folks, again, we don't know how this is going to work in the next level of the playoffs, if the band will be allowed to travel with them. We certainly hope so. But if not, enjoy this environment while you can. Final home game of the year here at Chardon Memorial. And it's been a good one so far. Ball will take a bounce. Picked up across the 10. Near the 20, and that is where the Cardinals will take over. Panunzio, another return.
And you know, this is where the pressure comes very squarely on the Canfield offense, down 31-6 at this point in the game, and this is when it gets really difficult to play the Chardon defense, because the Chardon defense knows you can't afford to run the ball much at this point in time, and it's when they become dangerous, is when you become one-dimensional. I mean, the Chardon defense is always dangerous, but this heightens that level of danger you're in.
Alex Henry, by the way, in the game and placing Nathaniel Salka in the secondary. They're putting it up in the air, going down the field, and the ball is nearly intercepted. Tremendous coverage by Troy Liebhart. Boy, Trey Liebhart was right there.
I mean, that was just spectacular coverage down the field. The receiver made a move to try to get a step on him and just didn't let it happen. Great work.
That young man is just a sophomore, by the way, and he's been a starter all year long from the cornerback position. He's been picked on from time to time, specifically look at that Mayfield game, but he has come back and he continues to make big plays. 2nd and 10 now from the 23. Lowry stepping up in the pocket, going to throw again. It is caught at the 30. And now a late flag. More late flags coming out.
Matt,
extracurricular activity occurring.
I was about to say, I think this might be a personal foul against Canfield, unless I missed something else and it becomes a offsetting, but to me it looks like it's going to be a personal foul against Canfield. So after they get positive yardage on that pass play, and it is unsportsmanlike conduct against Canfield.
Well, the Cardinals showing some frustration.
And you know, frustration is understandable, but it's the last thing you need right now. You need to keep your head about you and keep things moving in the right direction down this big late in this game.
Canfield Cardinals entered this game with the same record as your Chardon Hilltoppers, both 9-0. They beat Warren Howland 23-0. They defeated NDCL 34-7. They beat New Philadelphia 31-24. And we'll talk more about the teams that they played and the results when we get back here to start the fourth quarter. We've played 3 and the Hilltoppers in control 31-6. Hilltopper football on GTV is brought to you by the Junction Auto family and the Chardon Smile Center. We also like to thank Precision Orthopedic Specialties and Hazen Contracting, asphalt paving and seal coating. Also, thanks going out to our partners at Conic Law and the Preston Superstore. We also thank Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service and Always Construction. Special thanks also going out to Zarzer Motors. Welcome back, everyone. Chardon Memorial, Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke. If you saw the scoreboard there, it is a beautiful looking scoreboard tonight. Hilltopper faithful, making their presence known. Lowry, bit of a bad snap. He's being pressured. Gets away from one Hilltopper. Now on the move, racing across the 20, near the 25, and brought down shy of the 30. Now late flags coming out in the secondary, from deep in the secondary, by the way.
So we'll have to wait and see what that call is. I wasn't looking in that direction, Matt.
Gavin Slife gonna come out. He is banged up on that play.
For Lowry, it was a great run, and this is gonna go against Canfield. It's 2 critical penalties against Canfield on this drive now.
Well, Canfield, and you can understand it, Ryan, they're trying to make things happen. The problem is you have to do it legally.
Always key.
Just ask the folks at Conic Law.
That's correct. They can help you out with that.
3rd and 16. Lowry feeling some pressure, going to dump it off, incomplete. He heard the footsteps of Christian Hall. And now, boy, Canfield, that is just Bush League.
The official must have been screened from seeing it from the side he was standing on, because from the stands we all saw what happened down there. But, you know, ultimately, you know, I get it. Canfield's had such a great season. They've come up here and just things haven't gone their way. They're frustrated, but you're right. There's no reason for that. None.
4th down and 16. Canfield will punt. Not a good punt. Coach Hewitt with the nice catch. Nice to see he still has it.
You know, the 2 penalties didn't help Canfield on that drive, Matt, but there was just too much Chardon on that drive. And that's what we talked about at the beginning. Now Chardon knows you need to pass. Now you're really in trouble. Chardon's blitzing on every play. There's trouble in the backfield. They're on every receiver. No route is open. Just way too much Chardon D on that drive for Canfield to be able to handle, and the frustration was starting to boil over on them there.
Well, indeed so. The concern, though, is, at least from a Hilltopper standpoint, when you start to see stuff like that happen, you worry about the safety of your players. Pettyjohn gets the carry. Pettyjohn dives ahead for a few yards. There's another flag.
I mean,
Michael Minot. Boy, that was just... I mean, these guys are essentially just going to give Chardon 15 yards. They almost want a running clock at this point in time.
Canfield needs to... You're frustrated, but you can't be doing this. There is absolutely no reason for... And you're right, a personal foul should have been called on the last play and wasn't. There's no reason for this. It's frustrating, but you got to keep your emotions in check. You have to keep your emotions in check.
Hilltoppers, unfortunately, have lost Nathaniel Salka for the night. We just hope that Nathaniel will be able to play next week. Carr up the middle, and Carr near the 10-yard line, just barging straight ahead.
7-yard run for Carr, good pickup.
Oh, for the Hilltoppers, they are looking to close out the home portion for what has been a very, very memorable season so far. Fetchick letting the clock run down. He will hand it off. Sean Carr spins around up the middle, picks up the first down as he gets inside the 5.
You know, you have so many weapons and so many choices on this team, Matt, but sometimes you get to this point in the game and you're inside the 20, you just turn around and hand it off to Carr and let him go up the middle. Keep it safe. He'll keep it safe. He won't turn it over. He'll pick you up 4 or 5 yards and just turn around and hand off to Carr. He's a good option. You got back-to-back runs there.
Hey, not a bad spot to do it again.
No.
First and goal from the 5. Fetchik will give it to the big man who plows ahead for maybe a yard or 2.
Good stop there by Canfield. We've seen Canfield on the goal line a couple times be able to limit Carr. Carr's gotten his share of big runs off on them so far today, as has most of the rest of the Hilltoppers on offense.
We'll bring up second and goal from the 3.
You talked about Canfield dominating time of possession in the first half. Chardon has dominated time of possession here in the second half of this game.
Great view from Spencer in the end zone. Toppers will give it to Carr again, and maybe a yard there.
Big man dives forward for that one. And the thing you like about Carr is, Carr will keep it safe. Everyone on this team will, really. Carr's a good, reliable option for the Hilltoppers.
So third and goal now from the 2. And we're nearing that point in time where Drew Fetchik just may take care of it himself here. Of course, they're also just letting that clock run as well. Fetchik gives it. And it's Pettyjohn spinning around, and Pettyjohn stopped about a yard shy.
Good defensive work down there by Canfield to spin him out.
And now what does Mitch Hewitt do? Does he show some sportsmanship and go for the field goal, or does he go for the kill?
I don't see any reason not to go for it here. You're inside the 1 on 4th down. If you turn it over, you got your defense to go 99 yards. We'll see what they decide. I think they're going to take a timeout and discuss it.
Yeah, that's what he told the official. Let the play clock get down to 1, and I'm going to call that timeout. They've got 3 of them. Might as well use them. So it's 7:47 to go here in this contest. The Hilltoppers will call a timeout with 4th and goal on the 1.
Trying to keep an eye on what's going on down there, who's coming in and out of this huddle to see what the Hilltoppers want to do. You're inside the 1 yard line, and you got dueling things. Like you said, do you just kick the field goal here because you're already up big? But you're inside the 1. At what point in time do you just fall in the end zone? Some people argue that kicking field goals honestly is worse than just keeping the offense on the field and going for it in these situations. So we'll see what they decide to do.
Well, think about this. They score that touchdown, you get a running clock.
That's correct, and might put Canfield in an interesting situation. They're 9-0 this year, and they find themselves down in the running clock.
Tells you how good this Hilltopper football team has been this year. Fetchik under center. Pettyjohn in motion. He hands it off. Pettyjohn inside the end zone. Touchdown, Topper.
I'll tell you what. For Pettyjohn, Matt, he came into today with 94 carries. It's hard to believe that's all he has with everything he's done this year. And he keeps adding on here tonight with another touchdown run for Pettyjohn.
The Hilltoppers are making the most of this magical season. And they have literally run through every single opponent here in Division III, Region 9. Another penalty against the Hilltoppers special teams unit. Don't like that, but
I'd say that's the second time they've had a procedural penalty there lining up for an extra point today. Now,
maybe one of the few things that Mitch Hewitt's upset about from this game.
The thing is, the good coaches will never come in on Monday and say, great work, everybody. They're going to come in on Monday and tell you all the areas where you need to be better next week. And so sure that'll be an area he'll mention when he comes in and talks to everyone.
Tager, the PAT attempt, it is up and it is good with 7:42 left in this game. The Hilltoppers are up 38-6, and we've got a running clock.
Hey, Chardon crazies, we miss you. Hope you're having a safe Friday night watching the game. Be smart, be safe, and let's keep this thing rolling. Tonight's game will be replayed on GTV, channel 1025, tomorrow at 6 and 9 p.m., Sunday at noon, 3, 6, and 9 p.m. Also, don't forget that Chardon signs, order them at chardongridiron.org, or the Junction Car Raffle helps with the cost of a new scoreboard. Plenty of stuff to keep in mind.
You hear the loud roar because Al Herner made the announcement. We got the running clock, and it's been all but one game this year. Mayfield, that was it. And hard to believe, Ryan, but you know, that Mayfield game was the only one that wasn't a running clock. 35-14 was the final score. This Hilltopper team has put up more points than any team that Canfield has played. They gave up 24 to New Philadelphia. That was their most. 19 to Youngstown Cheney, 10 to Dover, 10 to Kenston. Everyone else was 7 or under. 7 to NDCL, 7 to Boardman, 6 to St. Vincent St. Mary, 6 to Streetsboro. Return across the 25-yard line.
You know, Canfield had a tough schedule this year, but you know, bottom line, Chardon was chosen as the #1 team in the region correctly. Canfield hadn't seen a team like Chardon yet this year. And they ran it. Chardon's been a buzzsaw this year, and Canfield ran into them tonight.
Folks, we do invite you to stick around following the conclusion of this game. We will be carrying for you the trophy presentation. Will be a very special moment here, the first time in the Mitch Hewitt era a regional final has been claimed by his Chardon Hilltoppers. Brock Lowry throwing over the middle, incomplete.
Threw behind his receiver there, as down there, Panunzio, who's had a couple of nice catches tonight, was open. The issue was the ball came in behind him, and he was trying to reach backwards to corral it.
Tonight, the 8th and final home game of the year. Hard to believe we've been here 8 weeks this year.
And it's been a lot of fun here this year.
They're going to run the football. The big fullback gets it across the 25-30 before he's knocked out of bounds. Chris Samaroni.
Hadn't had his number called a lot tonight, but he gets a nice run there.
This Hilltopper defense gave up 1 touchdown so far tonight. Trying to limit it to just the 1 here. Canfield will again run the football. This time it's Michael Crawford. Crawford goes ahead, picks up a couple yards, but stops well shy of the first down.
Oh, you know, Canfield scored on the first drive of the second half. Made the score 24-6. Went for 2, didn't get it. But the key to Chardon was Chardon got the ball back. They were on the field for like 8 minutes and took the rest of the third quarter away from Canfield. And any thought Canfield had at a comeback was pretty much gone by the time that drive was over.
Going to be interesting to see what Coach Hewitt decides to do if Canfield cannot get a first down here. They're going to go to the air. The ball is caught, first down Cardinals. So strike that line of thinking.
Found Drew Carochi down there, picks up a first down.
So Canfield first down and 10 now from their own 39 here. Clock again running. 4:20 and counting in this one. Lowry stepping up in the pocket under pressure. trying to get away from it, going to throw toward the sideline. Incomplete.
Intended receiver was Panunzio, and then it looked like he had another receiver come diving in to try to save the play. Remember, clock's continuing to run right now despite the incompletion, so we're down under 4 minutes here, Matt.
Well, the fans here are just ready to burst out in celebration. Handoff, Samaroni left side, 45, midfield 50, out of bounds. Canfield not going down quietly here, and certainly you expect that of a quality opponent.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some thought on that sideline where they're saying, hey, let's just get this clock stopped again. We haven't been in this situation all week long.
Ryan, you look at what Chardon has done in this game. They came out, the very first pass play was that huge bubble screen to Nathaniel Salka, which essentially set the tone for this game for the Hilltoppers offensively. Mike Pavlensky going to call a timeout there with 4:03 left to go. But from that, James Pettyjohn scored the first touchdown of the game. It was a 1-yard run, 7-0 Hilltoppers. Then Ferrante picked off a Lowry pass, returned it to the 15. That set up a 1-yard touchdown run by Evan Ash. So 3 minutes into the contest, and the Toppers were up 14-0. Early in the second quarter, Nathaniel Salka picked up a fumble return and took it back about 87 yards, making it 21-0. Hilltoppers had a big stop on 4th down just prior to halftime. Pettyjohn able to bust out a big run, and with 2 seconds left to go, Nathan Tager, a 25-yard field goal, making it 24-0. As you mentioned, the drive by Canfield, it was Lowry with the 1-yard run to make it 24-6, but then Fetchick the 4-yard run and Pettyjohn the 1-yard run. Notes you're scoring right now at 38-6. Lowry under pressure, going to throw it away. Flag coming down as Fletcher makes the catch. This play is coming back. It's a hold. And Fletcher will make his way down inside the 20 near the 15, but can't do that right in front of the officials.
You went through that scoring summary, Matt. I would say there were 3 key points in this game that were main turning points that kind of solidified that Chardon was going to come away victorious in the game. The first was, it was already 14-0, but Canfield got the ball, looked like they had their legs under them. They were moving it down the field, and they commit a holding penalty. They end up stalling out and turning the ball over on downs. So Chardon forcing that turnover on downs was 1. Then it was still 14-0. Canfield was driving again, and that fumble recovery that was returned 87 yards for a touchdown, another key. And then the third moment where I think Chardon solidified this game was that 8-minute drive in the third quarter that essentially ate up the rest of the third quarter and took any shot of Canfield coming back away. 3 big moments for the Chardon Hilltoppers in those 3 moments. Well, one of them was an 8-minute drive, but I think those are the 3 things that really were the keys to getting this game into a win for Chardon.
What was billed as a heavyweight matchup just has not come to fruition here. Hilltoppers going to call a timeout with about 1:39 left to go.
Chardon came out and scored quick, right? I mean, this Canfield team is very good. And so the Hilltoppers came out, and you mentioned the play to Salka. First play, bubble screen, goes for 60 yards. Canfield's ready to say who's getting the handoff, and Salka gets the throw his way. And when you're down 14-0 on the road so quickly, it's hard to bounce back. It really is.
The Hilltoppers have done it all season long, and it started with the defense. The defense has made their presence felt tonight. This is, according to Mitch Hewitt, the best defensive unit he's ever been around as a head coach, and really, I think as a football player, he might be willing to say that. Hilltopper coaches are coming down from the box. They are getting ready to celebrate, folks. Just a matter of time now. Samaroni going to take it across the 40, and there's a few plays left in the Cardinals season, and the Chardon Hilltoppers are ready to clinch a Division III Region 9 championship and make their way to the Final Four. Lowry looking to throw over the middle. Ball is caught. They will be stopped shy, though. The receiver was Panunzio, and why not? He's made a lot of big plays tonight. They'll have under 50 seconds now to try to get in the end zone.
Good open field tackle there to save a touchdown.
This, by the way, is not the Hilltoppers starting unit. They've all been subbed out. This is the second team in, getting some reps here. Pass right side is caught and forced out of bounds is Logan Torok. Boy, he's had a quiet night.
He has. He had one big catch early, but I mean, he was blanketed. He was covered really well. The cornerbacks were doing a great job on him. I know Kevin Doyle, among others, made a couple of nice plays on him in this one.
Look to throw again over the middle, incomplete. And that will do it. And Mitch Hewitt gets doused with the liquid. I don't know if it was Gatorade or water. He gets the bath, and the Hilltoppers have claimed their first regional championship in the Mitch Hewitt era.
What a great night for the Hilltoppers. We already highlighted it. They punched hard early, got up 14-0. The defense did their thing, forced 3 turnovers in the first half, and they never looked back, Matt.
It was a night to remember, folks, and what a night it will be here in Toppertown.
This will be an exciting time, and get to see some hardware handed out tonight too, Matt. That'll be awesome.
Absolutely, folks. We are going to turn it over now to the post-game celebration, the trophy presentation. Thank you for sticking with us here on GTV.
Legacy season! Let's go! Woo! Big time, baby. Little John.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ohio High School Athletic Association thanks you for attending tonight's regional championship game. At this time, let's recognize head coach Mike Pavlansky and the regional runner-up team from Canfield High School. Their award will be presented by the Canfield Athletic Director, Mike Cochran. One more round of applause, please, for Canfield High School. And now let's recognize head coach Mitch Hewitt and the regional championship team, your Chardon Hilltoppers. The award has been presented by Chardon Athletic Director Doug Snyder. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance at tonight's contest. The student athletes, their schools, and the Ohio High School Athletic Association appreciate your support. Please exit the stadium at your earliest convenience. Once again, you're not permitted to congregate with your team inside or outside the stadium. and we encourage to meet participants at home. Thank you for your cooperation, and please drive safely.
Take it, Coach. Take it in. Hey, take it in, take it in. Spread out. Spread out. Spread out. Spread out. Spread out. Spread out. Fellas. Spread out. Hey, fellas, almost a year ago to the day, we received the runner-up at a cold, snowy Solon field. And what had happened in the year past is it's undescribable. I mean, we've had the craziest year, and you're bringing so much joy and happiness to the community, all those fans, your parents, and most importantly, the work that you have put in. You've overcome so many things. It's unbelievable what you've accomplished, and yet the journey's not done. But your story, fellas, is going to be told. It's going to be told by everyone standing here of what you have overcome to get to this point. You have something to be proud of, fellas. I'm grateful. I hope you are. And this has been earned on our home field. What are we, 48? 48-6 on our field. 48-6! Yeah! There are 4 teams left in the state of Ohio. 4 teams. We haven't done this since 2003. Is it Tiffin? Tiffin Columbia is your opponent.
Tonight, if you do one thing for me, just be grateful. Be grateful for each other. Be grateful for the cheerleaders, the band, your school, your coaches, your parents. Be grateful for each other. I'm telling you, it's the worst week I had all week because you guys weren't there. I missed you so much coming up and seeing me. I just love you. I just care about you. Great job! Yeah!
Seniors, we're going to close the lights. The lights will be turned off, having successfully defended the hill. Congratulations. Yes, sir. All right, who breaks it down?
Coach.
Hey, Sulka, you're going to break it down. Where's he at? Don't touch him, but then we need a team picture after this, okay? Yeah. All right.
Well, folks, history has been made here tonight at Chardon Memorial, the final home game of the 2020 season, and the Hilltoppers defeat the Canfield Cardinals 38-6 to clinch a spot in the state Final Four against Columbiana Tiffin.
Yeah, dominating performance tonight, and great to get to do this on your you don't usually get to win the football regional on your home field, and the Hilltoppers got to do that tonight. What a great night for Chardon football.
It has been a memorable season, and the season will go on next week. Our next stop yet to be determined. We'll find that out this weekend, where the Ohio High School Athletic Association will send us, but got to think it's going to be somewhere on the west side. We, of course, will have some type of coverage for you on GTV, so stay tuned for that as well. History has been made here. The Hilltoppers defended the hill, and the trophy stays in Chardon. Folks, we want to thank our executive producer tonight, Dave Jevnikar, our cameraman, Chris Graw, Spencer Hill, also Brian Foster as well. We also want to thank our wonderful sponsors, including the Junction Auto family, the Chardon Smile Center, Precision Orthopedic Specialties, Hazen Contracting, Inc., Asphalt Paving and Seal Coating, Conic Law, Preston Superstore, Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, Always Construction Company, and Sarser Motors. Special thanks also going out to the Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club. Boy, we could not do this contest without them. Also, Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company and Sherwin-Williams, Achilles Running Shop, Roniak Paving, McMurray Metal Products, and OsteoStrong, Brock Construction Company, and Impact Church. And of course, Shoreside Plumbing and Alvords. On behalf of my partner tonight, Ryan Radke, I am Matt Jaworski, and on behalf of all the rest, we wish you all the best. Folks, we'll see you next week in the Final Four. Tight end, and we'll talk more about the line after this. Quick pitch out, left side is caught. 40, 50, to the 40, the 30, to the 20, inside the 20, down near the 15-yard line, Nathaniel Solka. Man in motion, right side, touchdown Toppers! James Pettyjohn with the score. And Kevin Doyle. Robin again dropping back to pass over the middle. It's picked off! Ferrante 25 and has it down inside the 15. Fetchick sends Ash in motion, hands it off, touchdown Toppers! A tough physical Canfield team. Lowry gonna try to keep it, trying to cut. Breaks a few tackles, ball's loose. Toppers have it! The Toppers have it! Solka racing down the field to 40, 45, turning on the burners. Solka all alone into the end zone. Touchdown, Chardon! Bit of a low snap, Lowry steps up looking to throw. It's picked off again! Nathaniel Solka again returning and breaking a tackle on his feet, 40. Solka brought down at the 45-yard line. Nathaniel Solka is having a game to remember here in the first half. Man in motion, they will hand it off. Pettyjohn has some running room. Pettyjohn on his feet, and he could be gone. Pettyjohn down the sideline, one man takes him out of bounds near the 15. Tager, the field goal attempt near side. Kick is down, it's up in the air. It is good! With 2 seconds left to go, Nathan Tager kicks the field goal. Lowry gonna keep it himself, goes straight ahead. No signal from the officials. Now there is from the far side, touchdown Cardinals. Pettyjohn the call again. Pettyjohn has an opening, makes a cut left side, right side, I beg your pardon. He's off to the races trying to cut the corner. And Brock Lowry, the QB for Canfield, brings it. Man in motion. And Fetchick gonna keep it himself, looking for the corner. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Toppers! How good this Hilltopper football team has been this year. Fetchick under center. Pettyjohn in motion. He hands it off. Pettyjohn inside the end zone. Touchdown, Toppers!